Hey Dane, season three in full effect, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm excited all day. Like I say, I've been just on the edge of my seat, giddy, sweating. I don't know
Yeah,
why it was, pretty cool out, but I was still sweating, just anticipating the night because we have this one in particular I've been really waiting to
yeah.
get to.
All the way back from season one, man. This is a
Yeah,
season one fan favorite, and we said we made a
yeah.
promise because alum. Once you come on the show once, you're part of the alumni. Speaking of alum, look who I found. Is he there? What's up, Justin? How you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
I'm
Excellent,
blessed to get
excellent.
to be, in the presence of greatness here
Oh
There you
virtually.
man,
go.
again,
So-
we're gonna start with this already. Thanks, guys. My ego doesn't need any help, but it's appreciated.
I love
Um,
it.
I told my wife before this, I was like, you don't even have to get me anything for Christmas this year because I'm already getting my big present in November, getting to hang out with you guys tonight.
Oh,
So
All right. Oh
I'm
man.
saving her some money. She
well, thank
Yeah.
you're welcome, Lauren.
Yeah, she
So,
proceeds to tell me, man, you guys will get a kick out of this because you've sort of been around her and whatnot. But I tell her that I'm doing this. And I was like, hey, do you remember that podcast I did with Dan and Josh? And she goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, well, they've asked me to come on and guest host. And I mean, didn't even bat an eye, man. She looked at me, she goes, why? I was like, okay, ouch, a little bit. And I started thinking about it, we're buddies now and all that,
yeah.
So I kind of started thinking about why, and then I was like, oh, I'm the curve. Like I am the curve at school that like, let's bring the dude in that doesn't have a clue, will completely fail this. And no matter what we do, minus falling asleep on the camera, we're going to be absolutely fantastic, better than we are.
Dane,
So,
he's
and
on to
I'm
us,
good with
Dane.
it,
He's
man. I'm
on
not
to
even the
us.
sixth man. I'm like the eighth man. Like, just
Yeah.
don't screw up the game the minute you're in. So we're good. But no, man, thank you guys for having me. It's awesome to see you
Yeah.
guys. I'm so excited to talk to this young lady.
Yeah,
So
no, man.
Yeah.
Real talk. You're definitely not the curve. We look, Justin, and I'll be serious for a minute. We look up to you. We love and respect you.
Yeah.
Your presence of mind about the game. We respect you for being a
Yeah.
veteran, active. Everything that you do and what you stand for. It's like we put it into one body, and that's
Yeah.
you. So we
Yeah.
mean everything we say, man. We love you. So I'm
no,
glad
and
you're
it's
here. So
reciprocated, man. I
yeah,
respect you guys so much. Like
yeah,
I genuinely enjoy the time that we get to spend together. Like it's
Yeah.
yes.
awesome, man. So
Good. Speaking of great things, there's a young lady. We're going
Yeah.
to get into it. Season three is in full effect. There's a young lady who left a huge impression on us.
Yeah.
Very
Absolutely.
tiny, but a huge shadow is cast from this
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
She's doing great things at Oregon State. We're Oklahoma's in near Oregon, so that's a big thing for us to say that, but it's true. So I'm going to get right down to it and bring on our old friend at this point, a
Yeah.
returning fan favorite, Savannah Whatley. Savannah, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Awesome. It's great. It's great to have you back for a returning episode alum at this point. So thanks
Yeah.
for giving us more of your time,
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Always a good time.
yes. So a little bit different spin on question this time, Savannah.
Yeah.
We learned a lot from your last time. I took all of your stuff and I made it my own when I coached the kids. I'm just letting you know. No, I'm kidding. So there's a little bit of a spin here. Looking back over lessons learned past couple of seasons, right? Love your tenacious, your tenacity, overcoming injuries, and just
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
working on the next thing. So looking back, maybe say the last year of your career, Savannah. What's maybe the biggest lesson learned over the past year for you?
Mm.
That's a good question. I think the biggest lesson that I learned was just to be a better teammate overall, like learning how to be a teammate off the field and maybe not
Mhm.
in a position to even go in and make an impact on the field, but making an impact in the dugout. Not necessarily like obviously playing in the game, but
Yeah.
within I can control in the dugout, like using my voice and just being there for my teammates.
I love that. Yeah,
Mm.
moral victories, right? That's a big thing. Maybe kind of stepping up, and even if you're playing or
Yeah.
not playing that inning, we talk a lot to our girls too. Is even if you're not playing that inning, maybe you're
Yeah.
taking a breather. What are you doing in the dugout? How are you helping? How are you watching? Maybe
Yeah.
paying attention to what the other team's doing, things like that. So that kind of leads me right into maybe Justin. That's your alley, man. Question two fits right for you on that one, man.
yeah,
Okay.
it really does. And battling from injury, I dealt with it myself, and it's difficult. And I'm sure you can agree with me, to get mentally ready to compete when you can't compete, when
Yeah.
that you're there to get them better by just being a presence. I know for a fact it's hard to get yourself ready for that and to keep the smile on your face. So absolute, the utmost respect to you for
Yeah.
being able to do that, because that's tough. I mean, there's no haha joke about it. That's difficult, and that takes a real champion and a real baller to be able to put their personal thing aside and go, hey, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. But that's not my question. I just want to piggyback on that.
Yeah.
I like your answer on that. So anyway, with everything that you have accomplished, Savannah, junior team Mexico, D1 ball player, I mean, just really all around kind of have reached what you've wanted to do up to this point in your life with sports. What goals do you still have that you're wanting to accomplish?
Yeah.
Well, there's so many that I haven't even yet. There's so obviously even getting on a Pac-12 team, but being an All-American has always been a dream of mine. I constantly working towards, but ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to play on Team Mexico and go to the Olympics. So that's really what I'm working towards. But that's 2028, so I have time. So right now, I have to be where my feet are and really focus on my team with that hand, and worrying about not just being the best player individually, but on a team. It's great if I'm a first team All-American, but if my team is not surrounding, not all together, it's not going to matter. And the goal is really to go back to postseason and get back to the Women's College World Series, because it was just such an amazing experience for me as a younger player. I'm gonna say a freshman. But I just want everyone to be able to experience that, because our team is talented enough. It's just a matter of time. And
well, I need you guys to make sure that you do make it, because my girls are playing in the road to the show, and I would like to meet you face to face. So figure it out, okay? And get it down there. All right,
back to me.
I'm not asking a lot. Just make it down there, okay? And I will wear a Beaver shirt, I promise. So
there you go.
You hear that, Savannah? He's going to do it just for you. I already got my shirt last year, Justin. Dan, go ahead with question 3. So.
Well, with what you've been through this year, I mean, it's tough for anybody, but I've followed you on Twitter. You've handled it with the utmost grace, and your perseverance is, something that everybody should aspire to have coming back from what you've done. What is maybe one of the biggest moral victories you've had through this whole process that you'll take forward and grow from?
I would say patient. I would learn a lot about patience, especially with yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I get really frustrated with how it happened and what went on, certain things, and then I decided to get my surgery elsewhere versus at the university. So I had to learn a lot of patience, not just with the surgery itself, but with myself, because I wasn't progressing as fast as I wanted to at first, which is my goal was on day 2, I'll get to 90 degrees, which is so unrealistic, obviously, but I definitely learned to be more patient with myself, and also how to be, because there was a lot of injuries on the team last year, and also how to be a resource for others that are hurt on our team, or going through something. It's pretty much just being a player, being really in the process.
That's a great, absolutely great outlook.
I think, man, I'm processing this, because some of the things, Justin, I'm going to skip forward and we'll go to 5 because of the segment of it, but I'm going to go to 5 in a second. But the way that Savannah, you said this, I remember this, and Dane and I, it blew our minds. And Justin, I don't know if you saw this when she first said it in season 1. Savannah, you're probably the first girl we ever heard talk about mental health in sports. I mean that. It was so powerful the way you said that, and how it's look, you can be a light, you can be a beacon, you can help your teammates. It's so much beyond sports. You even mentioned that the first time. It's good to see that you've carried that message and it's gotten even bigger. And maybe, Justin, if you want to expand on that, Savannah talked a lot about sports is so much bigger than sports. And Savannah, I just got to give you kudos going back to that, even season 1, you're still all about your teammates. Yeah. Everything I hear you say is always about others above yourself. And I can't get enough of that, so.
Yeah, wow. It really is, and I try to tell my girls that as well, that this is a game. And this game is going to end at some point for everyone, and it's life, but it's still a game, and it's a game for a reason, because it's a game because it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy it. you know. But that being said, with, you know, everybody's going to take their spikes off at some point, and you're not going to put them on ever again. And we don't know when that's going to happen. It could come from injury, could come from graduation, could come from lack of desire, you know, just being burned out, being done with it. You know, mental health is huge, 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 you know, because it's the not ever feeling good enough or feeling like a failure, you know. And if you're surrounding yourself with teammates like you that build them up and continue to say, you know what, this is a part of a process. You know, I would pay to have 12 of your heads in my girls at all times. I mean, I'm 100% honest with that. But so with that being said, you know, getting into the later part of your collegiate career, you know, obviously we want to, you know, 2028's right around the road, you know, well, 4 years down the road, but still able to do that. You know, what's next for Savannah? What's the next step in your life?
Yeah, it's good.
Truthfully, I'm trying to take things day by day. Besides like the ultimate goal of the Olympics, I'm not really looking that far forward, because as much as I am in my later part, I'm technically still back in my sophomore year. So I still have the next 3 years. I think it's going to change. I'm not setting any set plans. I don't have any set plans except for after sports, wanting just to give back to my sport in any way possible, because I've had a lot of like amazing coaches and people support me and help me grow as an athlete, not just as an athlete, but also as a person. So I know for sure I want to get back to my sport. I'd like to be more involved in church because I don't during the season. I'd like to be more involved in the community as well, whether I'm in Corvallis or not. After my 3, that's pretty much it so far. I don't have any set plans, but
no, I think that's a great answer, because sometimes I don't know leaves the window open for just really, really cool things to happen in your life. And then the ability to not have be on such a path and such a plan that you may miss a different opportunity. So I dig that answer a lot. So
that's
and you said like 7 things, Savannah. I can't plan 2 things out. So kudos to you for being a sophomore and planning like, I've only said like 8 things. When you list those off, you really realize or not, that's a whole bunch of cool stuff. So I'm proud of, again, you're well put together. So Savannah, we're excited to bring in a new segment for season 3, and you're going to be the first person, being one of the OGs on this show that you are, you're going to bring in a new era of the show. We're not doing with rapid fire. We've got a few segments that we're going to bring in, and you're going to be our first person to play a little game with us called Fact or Fib. Okay. So what this is, the internet's great, right? Sources are great. I might say some nameless people, like maybe your mom gave me some stuff, maybe Wikipedia, be some cool stuff, right? So now this is the thing. You're going to laugh a lot. And Justin and Dane and I have these 5 facts. It's okay if it's not true. You just got to say fact or fib. If it's a fact, that was a fact. If it's a fib, you just got to say it's a fib. Real simple. Okay. So you ready?
I'm so embarrassed.
Okay, here we go. That's what we love. So first question, there's about 5 or 6. Is it true that you once played an entire softball game on the field wearing a Big Bird costume?
That's a fib.
Darn you, Wikipedia. No, I'm kidding. So, Dane, did you have that as a fact or fib on that one?
I had that as fib. I heard the Wikipedia thing. I was like,
I'm kidding.
Bro, Justin, I had that 100% true. 100% true. I figured it's college, man. I figured something happened and you were out having a good time on the field. I would do
love
it. So, yeah, I know you wouldn't. So.
I love it. So, second question. Before your illustrious softball career, you've dabbled in the fine arts of singing and even the occasional possible Disney cover.
I think that's a fact.
Yes, it is. I knew it. I've got footage of it. I won't air it. We've got footage of you just getting down to some High School Musical stuff. Justin, she was shredded. I'm not lying, bro.
No, cool. I had for true on that one too, because doing the research on her, I saw singing in the guitar, and who does not sing Disney tunes? I mean, really. I'm 41. I do. It is what it is.
We're all in this together. You know what I'm saying? We can get down. So I'm just saying, Savannah, you got a career along with softball. You got a career and get down on some tunes, So love it. Dane, did you have fact on that one?
That's a fact. We all did our research.
Okay. So Savannah, next, a fact or fib. You may or may not have started playing softball as we know it around the age of 10, give or take. Speechless. Is that a loser?
I'm going to say that's true. I think it was a little younger, but
Yeah.
I think it's fact.
Fact. Got it. I had that one. Dane and Justin.
Yep.
Did you guys have? Yep.
Oh yeah.
Nope,
Definitely.
I had fib on that one. I figured it was going to be the little tiny t-ball girl out there in the shorts and the
Yeah.
big cleats. So
Yep.
nope.
Got it.
No,
Okay.
I played baseball first.
That's
and then
right.
Yeah. Okay.
See, I gathered that one from the last episode
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I went back again. So like that was
Yeah.
that was the Dane and Josh exclusive for that one. Just so you know.
There you go.
So
Setting me up
two
for
more.
failure again, boys. Appreciate it.
I got-
Thank you so much.
May I have another? Two more. So, in fact or fiction, your favorite walk-up song from your beginning days of playing may or may not be "If You Want to Be My Lover" by the Spice Girls.
that's a bit.
If you want to be my love, it's such a catchy song. I love it, man. But
Oh yeah,
That's
you
a
could
fair-
just you could sidestep up to
tell
it
you what I
with-
want, what I
with-
really, really want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Dustin? Do you have that one?
Man, I had fib on that because I was expecting it to be some Disney song. Not even gonna lie, I expected it to be a Disney song she'd walk
Yeah.
up to. So
Let's go. I love it. So last question. This could be fact or fib, Savannah. So you got to let me go. Got to go with what you feel on this one. So last of the fact or fib questions. You once, after an umpire gave you the wrong call, you challenged him to a game of paper rock scissors to overturn his call on the mound.
I wish I would have done that, but that's a bit.
Okay. So it is not true that you tried to go paper rock scissors with him when he did the wrong call. Dustin, I know you.
no, I 100% have fact on that, and she did it while wearing the Big Bird costume.
Yeah, there you go.
Rigged. All lied. I 100% think that
All
happened.
day. Savannah, we're gonna do a challenge card on that. So there was never a time when you called an umpire out, right? Never on the field.
There might have
Don't-
I don't know about rock paper scissors, but
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Savannah. We're just playing, you know that. So this is a little game we do, a new segment. Thank you for being a good sport for fact or fib. Dane, I didn't even bet you on that one. That's just more no bets. So nobody owes each other lunch. A couple more segments, Savannah. I'm going to give it to Justin for a minute for something we call coach to coach. I know you don't technically coach officially, but kind of really you are a coach. So Justin, I know you got a couple things from coach to coach for. So
Yeah, and getting to talk to somebody in your position and that has been able to achieve what you've been able to achieve. For me personally, so I coach 14B, and I've had the same core group of girls for the last 3 years. I have girls that are freshmen in high school, and I'm trying to really figure out how to tune into them on if they are willing to do the work to take them to the next level, because eventually natural talent is going to it's going to not be enough. They're going to need to do more. And most of them do it. So the first thing that I really kind of wanted to ask you and pick your brain about a little bit is, let's go a little bit further down in Savannah Whatley's life. Okay. You're married. I know we don't look in the future. We already said that, but we're going to do that right now. Okay. We're going to go down a little bit, and you have a daughter who started playing ball and maybe played baseball first, just like you, and then went over to Big Bird costumes. And so she's played 6-7 years, really loves it. She comes to you her freshman year of high school. So my daughter is 14, and has all intentions of playing in the pack. She wants to play at Oregon, and we kind of talked about that. And I'm trying to talk her into the Beavers because you scare me and told me I had. So, but let's say that your 14-year-old daughter comes up to you and says, "Mommy, I want to do what you did. Tell me how to do this." What would be the top 2 things that you would tell your daughter? And I say this in a different way because as coaches, mentors, anything like that, we can talk to our own children differently than we can to our players. It just is the way that it is, closed door conversations. So I'm asking you that as your daughter, what would you tell her? No, gloves off. These are the 2 things that you need to do if you want to get to the next level. What do you think you would tell her?
That's good.
it's so crazy to think about. I'm like, oh gosh, if I had a daughter.
I know, I'm sorry, live in the now, but live then later, and we'll figure it out down the road.
I'm very blunt with my answers most of the time. So I think the first thing I'd say is you need to get good. Like, and there's ways that I'll work with her, like hitting and fielding, but ultimately you have to be good. Like you have to be good and you have to work hard. And I think the second I'd say is
That's good. I like that though. It's very poignant, you know.
mm, I would kind of say, dang, that is hard. The second one is just getting me because there's a part of me that wants to say that, like, yes, you do need to work harder. That's like already a given, but you also need to remember like where that talent comes from, and
Respect
ultimately
it. Yeah.
who
Cherish
we're
it.
doing it for. Like you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it to bring glory to God, and you're doing
Yeah.
it to that talent to get on that platform to be able to tell others about him that might not know about him, and make
So
lifelong
good.
great teammates.
That's so good.
Josh and Dane, man, that kind of goes back to our podcast when I talked about, you know, the reason of why I do what I do and remembering your why.
Right.
Remember why you're doing this. So that's
Spot on.
That's absolutely, I love it. Now I'm going to take you in reverse. Okay, so we went down this part of your life. Now we're gonna go down this part of your life. Okay, so you're 21 years old, right?
Yes.
Correct. Okay, cool. If 21-year-old Savannah, with everything that you have been through, everything that you have accomplished, everything that you put on your look at me wall, you know, if that person that you are today could go and sit in a room with 14-year-old freshman wide-eyed Savannah, what would you tell her? What would you tell her to say, you know what, maybe we do things this way to make it easier for us. Maybe our process changes just a little bit. What would you tell her to ease her to be able to get to where you are and maybe alleviate some of the struggles? I understand struggles build character, but just like anybody, we would love to make the path easier for the people that we love. And what would you tell you?
That's good. That's good. Solid.
I would say I think at 14 years old, I was kind of falling into the whole like I was the only person like committed at my school, and like I had like a really big head, and I was just like, yeah, like I don't have to do this, and I still worked really hard, but like I just held myself away. I shouldn't have held myself. So just like relax and be who I truly am instead of putting on like this little facade and of that I'm better, even though I really wasn't. And to get help, to ask for help, like when I
love
needed
that.
it. Especially,
Man.
I never.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge.
Yeah, never
It's
serious till I got to college and I started really struggling. So I think I would definitely tell myself like it's okay, like get help.
man.
Well, a lot more people.
Yeah.
It goes back to what you said, Savannah, and then Justin. You know, you see why we connected the interview. I'm telling you, that's why we did that.
Yeah.
Savannah, you keep going back to it, and Dane, maybe you want to expand on that.
Yeah.
Savannah, you keep going back to it's more than a game. I cannot say it enough. Like I love the way you're saying this, and you're great.
Yeah.
I mean, storied collegiate athlete. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's cool. Like when you talk about your accomplishments, it's like, oh, that's cool. I'm here to bring glory, you know, to something bigger than myself. It's so cool how you go about the game is second to what you really are after, and it just impresses me. That kind of leads into Dane, I think, your question, you know.
And due to that, I mean, I just want to tell you, congratulations. We know you've been recently baptized, so congratulations on that portion of your life.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to center around that. How has your faith helped you through this whole process, and now moving forward, getting a little bit older and getting back onto the field into the future? How has your faith helped you, maybe spiritually, psychologically, now as you look at the world? What has it helped you? How has it helped you in that way?
That's good.
Yeah. I grew up Christian, so I've always like had this kind of religion mindset of like, yeah, I'm a Christian, so I'm religious. But I think as I got older, I realized it's not really about a religion. It's about like a relationship. And like I got trapped in that like whole like I'm doing this, like this is all because of me, like I'm the one, and I was relying so heavily like on my worth being pulled from like social media or like other people, and I let like instead of choosing to listen to what God had to say about me and who I truly am in his eyes, I listened to what had to say about me, and it like destroyed me. It like fully destroyed me. I was like physically like debilitated. Like it was bad. Like I just wasn't in a good place. And I think I came to Oregon State and I was like, you know what? Like before I even came to Oregon State, before I was committed here, even I transfer process, and I was like, God, like I know you're gonna place me where I need to be, and I like literally didn't really even have like a relationship with him at that time, but I remember like praying, like I know you're gonna put me where I need to be,
Love that.
and there's just like so many opportunities, so many like athlete Bible studies and worship nights, which I'm gonna go to after this. But there's so many things like here to help me grow my relationship. And I also have like a lot of great teammates that helped me along the way and so I think it really helped me to just number one become a better person, because the more you know God, the more you want to be like him and the better of a person you become. And I think it also really helped me like psychologically just to remember that like there's gonna be hard times, there's always gonna be struggles, there's always gonna be things on. It's like just know that like my favorite verse is James 1, 2 through 4. I'm so bad at quoting it. I get nervous every time I'm about to quote it. But it's about how your struggles they build your faith and they produce perseverance. So that you're not lacking anything. And I think that's one of my favorite verses because I did go through a lot mentally, and the only reason promise you the only reason I'm like doing well now, and I'm still not perfect obviously, but doing better was because of God. Like if I didn't have relationship with him, I don't even know who I'd be. Hopefully I wouldn't be the 14-year-old I was that was a brat. So
Man, what I think you've definitely it's neat because again, I make it clear we respect all walks of life. I say that all the time. I really respect what you're doing. Like I said, I love the path you've taken. I respect any and all. I wish when I was 21, Justin, Dane, I wish I was half as put together as you are, Savannah, at this age, man, literally. So the respect that you have for others and the way you're making this about something bigger than yourself, there's not enough words to really say how powerful that is and why we keep bringing you back. We respect what you do. You're a role model. Obviously, when we originally approached you season 1, we wanted to talk about your influence on female athletes and how you should have that same respect that males do, and it should be the same, right? And you've been nothing but just continue to carry the torch and just be a great example to the next generation. And I'm just so glad that we know you and get to be a part of doing this more than once, So, but yeah, so hopefully Justin and Dane and I can see you when you come through for supers and all that. So, as you get to the World Series, I'm hoping to catch up with you soon, Savannah. We love doing this and we don't want to hold you back. Hopefully we can make this, again, a recurring thing as we keep making this happen time and time again. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Make sure you tell your teammates that, no matter what they do, they've got to make it because we have to meet you. So
yes.
figure it out. It is what it is. So,
yeah.
They're carrying me. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Savannah, it's always an honor. I mean that again, like I said last time, I know this is episode 2. Make sure this is a recurring thing. We're going to stay in touch. We appreciate the heck out of you. We admire and respect you. And we just can't wait to keep watching you as a person and an athlete continue to flourish. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I lost her. Savannah, well, you take care. You're welcome to drop off and we'll make sure we stay in touch and we'll get this out to the world very soon. Okay. So
thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thank you.
So Dane and Justin, great lady. What'd you think of her? Awesome, right?
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, just anybody that perseveres through something like that, especially in like, at their age, they say some of the best times of your life, and something you love doing, a game you love playing that you've played for a long time, it's taken away, but you still have that drive to get back to it. And in her faith carried her through it. I mean, any story of perseverance of somebody of that caliber is inspiring to hear.
Man. Justin,
I wish she was closer.
Yeah.
I would love to shove, my girls, but especially my daughter. She's the type of individual, the type of woman with as you said, so well put together. 21, still a kid, but man, she's got it. It is there. Just shove her and my kid in a room together and say, talk to her and listen to what she's saying, because she's achieved what you want to achieve. She is doing what you want to do. And she's comfortable enough in her own skin to say, I struggled with the mental health part of it. I struggled with being an arrogant brat, as she said. You know what I mean? Like that. that takes a real human being to be able to look in that mirror and go, hey, you know what? I struggled with who I was, and it maybe put me on a pedestal I shouldn't have been on, because these girls, especially in, Kansas, stuff like that, they get on these teams and they start going to these events and they start getting their name out there, and they kind of get a big head a little bit, and there's always somebody better, and I just, man, she was everything I wanted her to be and more. She was,
absolutely.
She was awesome. So,
and that's definitely the reason why we had to bring her back. I mean, she kind of everything she said in that first episode we had kind of resonated with us, and it's kind of rung through our ears from every episode. Whenever we hear something another guest says that she said, that always brings her back to my mind.
You know what? I promised her this, Justin. We were going to have her on. It was May, and I said I was ready to go. We were ready to drop the second episode. She goes, "Hey, I can't do it right now. I'm helping volunteer." It was a soup kitchen. I said, we'll drop what we're doing. We'll make sure, even if we have to figure it out on a day where we unbook somebody else. She said, "I can't help tonight because I'm volunteering." No problem. We respect you. You go do that. That's way more important, and we'll circle back. That's the kind of person she is. I'm volunteering tonight. I'm so sorry. It was a camp or something. She was volunteering to help kids that didn't have enough to eat and things like that. You go do that. Yeah.
That's, man,
just great kid.
I mean, I don't even know. I got nothing like funny, witty, anything to say.
She's great. Yeah, she's a great kid.
I look at her and I look at my daughter at 14 and I'm like, that's who a person like that. That's who she should strive to be. Regardless of the game, regardless of, what level you make it on, whether you're playing JUCO D1, D2, or you're not playing at all, just who she is as a person and where her heart is and where her mind is. That's, I think, any father out there, you guys both have daughters.
Absolutely.
I want my kid, my daughter to go, I want to ball like her, but I want to be like her. I want to be like her. And man, that was,
it's cool.
That was cool, man. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. I'm not trying to fanboy over here, but man, that was.
Oh, we do.
This is how to go now. We can't even mess with this anymore.
Man.
But no, that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah. In closing, Justin, Dane, she's great because it's cool. Like I said, we respect all walks of life, whatever, faith or creed and all that. And we also like how she welcomes everybody in. She knows where she stands and she has her perspective, but she's also welcoming everybody in. That's what's, again, this is why we do what we do. People like her, Sierra Simon. I think back about Kaylee, obviously Justin, we mean that. And some of the athletes, musicians we've talked to, Joey, Dane, that story every time. This is why we do what we do. So I'm just glad that we got to have her a part of that. So I gotta say thank you on behalf of the Dane and Josh show. Justin, thanks for being a part of this guest one tonight. That was phenomenal.
Everybody needs a curve, brother. Everybody needs a curve.
You crushed it, man. You did. So on behalf of the Dane and Josh show and our special mentor, Justin, and Josh, we like to say, don't forget that we love you. And Dane?
Thank you for listening.